We here at the Game Saloon Riff Tracks always support any and all that are involved in the creation and distribution of any show we feature, and will encourage any of those watching to support the official release. Thank you and enjoy the show.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. Welcome to the Game Saloon Riff Tracks for July 27th, 2013, with your host, Peacemaker2448.
And Rampant Epsilon.
Yep, Black's not here, and we don't know why.
And it is very likely that he may hop in the middle of this recording.
That is entirely possible.
Because he's done that to us countless times before.
Yep. At least we'll have a good arc of Decade this week, I think.
Hopefully.
At least we know half this arc's going to be good because it's got the Shinkengers in it.
True.
But before that, last week we looked at the end arc and yeah. That was an arc.
Yeah, that's about all that can be said about it.
Yeah. Still don't know why the Blade Missing Ace guys were in there. Like, a lot of the Blade Missing Ace elements were in there. And we kind of left without really resolving some stuff. So, yeah. Never be mentioned again. Alright.
I'm sorry, but to me, that last arc, it seemed like there's so much that could be went back and touched on.
Yeah. Especially when you have, like, especially when you have the Missing Ace elements. Like, what if this is an alternate take on Missing Ace the film? Which is an alternate ending of the Blade movie, so we're getting alternate stuff here, so yeah.
Which would an alternate stuff the actual stuff?
Kind of, but no.
I make a good point.
Yeah. And I think that could be said for a lot of the Decade stuff. It's just that there's more to be said with them. It's just, we get 2 episodes and we're done. Which is a really horrible way to do the 2-parter. Because so many other shows do the 2-parter better. Because this isn't just a story about a person, like in the case of Double O's Forza and the story about a world. And we still have elements that can be talked about. And it's just like, oh, 2 episodes, we're done. We're moving on. Next episodes.
You know what I just realized I forgot to do?
What'd you do?
Download the rest of the Decade again. Remember, my stuff kind of went derp-a-derp?
Oh.
Yeah, I just happened to think about that, and it's like, I better check before we get live and get stopped right in the middle of it.
Oh.
Again.
Welp.
Thank God for the episode reference down below if you're on the TGSR page.
Yes, if you're on the website right now, tgs.tgsr.doindns.org. I said tgs.tgsr, didn't I?
I don't know. You rattled it off like I do, so I don't pay much attention to that.
Okay, tgsr.doindns.org is where you can find the episodes to watch. Anyway, this week...
Follow the flames. You'll know what I mean.
Yeah. They're very helpful. And very cool. Anyway, this week we're looking at episodes 24 and 25. The Samurai Sentai appear and Gedo Rider go forth. Oh, by the way, we're kind of getting another rider this week. I say kind of.
But, should I even ask?
No.
Okay.
But first, there's something I gotta cover real quick. Mostly because I wasn't there when we watched Shinkenger. And that is the Sixth Ranger Umeri... I'm not gonna try to pronounce his last name. Genta, the Gold Ranger. Now, if you've watched Power Ranger Samurai / Super Samurai, you know his story halfway. Pretty much, yes, he's an old friend of the Red Ranger from way back in the day, and now he's come to join the team, yada yada yada. A sushi cart salesman. Otherwise, they're pretty much the same character.
Huh.
Other than that, I think everything else, I don't think I need to explain everything else. All the villains that we saw in episode 1 are still there, doing their thing.
Being their villainous self.
Yes. They're still trying to do that thing they were doing in the first 2 episodes. So, yeah.
And let me guess, still failing at it?
Yes. So I guess thoughts going into these 2 episodes.
Part of me is hoping for some redemption, but then again, it's Decade. Decade manages to break everything.
Yeah. But hey, like I said, at least half of this is going to be good, because it's the Shinkenger arc.
Yeah, but Decade.
But Shinkenger.
Let's face it.
This is the legit Shinkengers.
Let's face it, we done established the fact that story-wise, the Kabuto arc was worse than the show.
Okay, this is a part of a...
We didn't think that was possible.
Yeah, but this is a part of a 4-parter that 2 episodes of the story are on the Shinkenger side. And by 2 of the episodes, I mean the 2 episodes before these 2 episodes that have nothing to do with Decade, really, except for setting up these 2 episodes.
Huh.
There's a couple things you'll notice in there. Or like, oh, here's a... Oh, wait. Decade showing up? I don't quite remember the episode, so I'll probably go watch them at some point just to refresh my memory on them. Because I watched Shinkenger all the way through and completely ignored the fact that there were 2 episodes that were a part of 2 episodes of Decade. Completely ignored that fact.
Was it because you wanted to ignore it, or because it just happened?
And because it just happened, because I was too busy watching Shinkenger, which is a far superior show.
Okay.
Because, like I said, you know how Samurai blows it, just really shoves it in your face that Jaden has a secret?
Yeah.
Shinkenger is far more subtle about it. Like, early on in Samurai, you have this monster that attacks you with something that you, bury deep inside of you. I don't know, I don't remember. It's something that you can be really offended by yourself, and he uses it to attack you. Well, in Power Rangers, the monster tells Jaden that you have a secret. And Shinkenger, he just tells him he's a liar. And the Pink Ranger even confronts him on that fact after the 2 episodes are done in Shinkenger, and asks him, well, what are you lying about? And he kind of brushes this off like it's nothing. And you have to assume it's well, hits his feelings for the team because, he's a bit distant from them. But you soon, over the course of the show, realize there's something more to him, and by the end you realize it. And they could have done a little bit more with it. Because, spoilers, he's not the real Red Ranger. A female Red Ranger is supposed to be the real Red Ranger. And the real head of the Shiba clan. It's just I think both in Samurai and in Shinkenger, they don't really do much with it. They just have that character show up for a few episodes. So, the Red Ranger, the original Red Ranger, Jaden / Takeru, I believe, go off and finish up his fight with darn it, I can't remember his name. And that's pretty much the end of it. She doesn't even get be a part of the final fight, except give off a disc to help seal the final bad guy. And that's kind of it.
Hmm.
A little bit squandered opportunity, but the build up to the twist and the twist itself is good. It's just the what we get after that point, maybe, But I think this arc will probably be better of the two. Better some.
Better than most,
Yeah.
if not all.
Yeah. Because at least half the writing will be good. But you ready to start episode 24?
Guess so.
Alright, then we're going to be looking at episode 24 first. In 3, 2, 1, go! Crap.
What?
Hard drive had to spin up.
Oh, dear Lord. Made a pause.
Yeah.
Where are we at?
We'll just take it from the top. Because literally I said go, and it's like, wait, there we go. Alright, ready to try it again?
Try it again. This
Alright.
time it wasn't my fault.
Yeah. Alright, going again in 3, 2, 1, go. That one worked far better. And that... I think he just stole Decade's line.
Yep.
And by the way, that's one of Genta's swords. Hey, they're really important. Shinkenger dedicated an entire episode to their importance. Literally, they did, and they made them seem like cool characters. Because they're the guys that, like, evacuate the civilians from the area. You know, they prep the Rangers to transform and fight.
Huh.
I mean, literally, they are the support team to the Shinkengers. Yep, and he has a card, because that completely makes sense, considering Decade's powers to begin with.
Yeah.
Well, technically, there's about, at this point, like, 33 worlds without riders, depending on how you want to put the continuity of the Super Sentai teams.
True.
Yeah, 33. Because unlike Rider, that's been around for 40 years, there are, in fact, there's in fact been a Super Sentai team once per year since it started.
Hmm.
I think I'm trying to remember. I think there's 27 main riders for Kamen Rider. Yeah, I'm trying to remember. If you include Gaimu, it's 27. I was trying to remember because the number, because I heard the number yesterday in a podcast I was talking about Gaimu. And there are far more than 40 if you count everybody. I'm gonna say there's like maybe 100 and something. Like, as just taking a shot in the dark, I'm gonna say there's like 100. If you count every single writer.
I wouldn't doubt it.
Yeah. Of course, this episode has to play like like one of the first episodes.
Yeah.
I don't remember this part. Because that's different from the one that's actually in Shinkenger. No, Yosuke, you can get in this fight. Or
Yeah, but
Yusuke.
they're in a world with no riders.
Well, now it's not without riders because we got 3 of them in here now. So come on, Yusuke, get in the fight. Come on.
Come on, Yusuke. Remember you're a hero.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. We'll go with
I,
that.
I mean, sure, these 5 look like they got it covered. But you could be the replacement 6. Since Genta's currently preoccupied.
I mean, it is only 5 on 100, but yeah.
Well, Sentai and Rangers are used to this by now. It's like they always have to face like far more than their numbers. Again, I don't know why Decade's got a card for the Recadizanto, but he does. Because that makes total sense.
He's got to have some memorabilia of this world. I mean, he does go around getting copies of everyone else's powers.
But he doesn't have a copy of DN's powers. How about you just look for the camera? Well, that's what they do. That would mean a far superior show. I don't think that's happening. It's got its heroes. It's not something to be worried about.
Yeah, it just has no riders.
Yeah. Hi, Sukasa hanging out in the background. Yeah, Sukasa, thank you for telling us. Okay, something's up. Even Takaru can see it. He's not going to disappear. Oh, it's something, alright. How about you just disappear through a portal already? I mean, you got the treasure. Oh, I can see he wants all the origami.
Man, someone just had to break the fact there was no riders in this world.
Yeah. Rai and Scissors? Oh, and Scissor? And of course, people
That's
thought
why
that...
he was tied up earlier.
The what?
That's why he was tied up earlier.
Oh. Narataki, just shut up. It's not, this is going to happen a few years down the road. And it will be just as... It won't be as crappy, but it will be just as... It will be boring.
Yeah, that's gonna happen.
Yeah. Actually, something else will happen. I was about to say, Kaito, you might want to pay attention. You have company. How? And that's why most riders have belts. They can't be taken away that easily. Well, gotta give him credit. He got half of them.
Wow. Leave it to Kaito to be the one to screw it up.
Yes, and have something stolen from him. Oh. And strangely enough, this is actually appropriate for them to talk about. Well, it's not that hard when you got one of you... When it's one of you actually wearing something besides black.
Yeah.
And Yusuke's here, too.
Yeah.
I do love that look at Tagoro. It's just like, what in the fuck just walked in my front door? I wouldn't really call that calculated. Tsukasa, he learned that pretty much from the intro. Duh.
Oh, I can give him a hint.
Yeah. Sakasa, stop acting like a dick and actually do something.
I, I'm sorry, but as much as Kaito's done dick moves to him, I kind of actually enjoyed that part of it right there.
Yeah, that part's understandable. If this, but the problem is he's like that to a lot of people.
Yeah,
It would have been nice if this was the only time he did it.
I mean, I've got to say to Kaito that probably is one of the few people I can justify that to.
Yeah.
Oh God. Every time he uses Deno now, I think about that one episode where he just completely got trolled.
Yes.
That was awesome.
No, why he went Ditto this time? It seems an odd choice.
Yeah,
I would expect Kiva, but that would be appropriate. Because Kiva did air alongside Shinkenger.
yeah, but you gotta also think, how many times does he use Kiva?
A lot.
Exactly.
How about you transform into something that's got range too? I mean, Deno's got one of them.
Or how about something that's got speed so you can take the gun away from him?
Or defense, so you can absorb the shots while trying to get close to him.
Or just go decade complete and just end it. That works too.
I guess.
He's just hooked on Deno right now.
Yep.
That's just all there is to it.
You
I saw
missed.
that one coming.
Yeah. You telegraphed that move way too early. Probably should have weakened him up a little bit more, then tried it. That way it wouldn't have been telegraphed that bad. Probably. Yeah, my driver got stolen. Who would have guessed?
He does wave the darn thing around like it's a toy, so I mean,
Yeah.
stands to reason someone's gonna steal it from him. Oh dear lord.
Yep. Like I said, we get another rider, kind of.
Does he not realize that now he's more powerful than any of them put together?
What, the Gedoshu?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, and you know how Dien can summon riders? Guess what he can summon? He can summon various villains.
How was it Decade's fault that time?
Because everything is Decade's fault in the show. Everything.
That one was not Decade's fault. That
I
one was Kaito's fault for wanting to steal everything he can get his hands on.
yeah.
uh,
By the way, did you recognize somebody in that little commercial for All Riders versus Die Shocker?
yes.
Yeah. Now the next question is, are you going to ask if it makes any logical sense?
I don't think so right now.
Okay, good, because it doesn't.
Okay. When Decade's involved, nothing makes sense.
Yeah, I don't even know why. He just is. And in case you're wondering, spoilers. Grandpa is an old Rider villain from Rider villain. He's Iga Devil. Or Professor Shinigami. Depending on what name you want to call him by. Why is he that? I don't know. He just is in All Riders. It's as much backstory as Grandpa ever got. I call him Grandpa because I don't really remember his name.
Well, it does seem kind of funny. The only person out of Decade that didn't get any bit of backstory is Decade.
Yeah. And again, like I said, until you count on All Riders. And even then, it's only an alternate ending. So, thoughts so far?
Better than I figured it would have been.
Yeah. But like I said, it's because the Shinkensers are here. They're really what take the edge off Decade's usual shenanigans. Because we have actual good characters. Outside of, most of the Decade cast.
Wait, okay, I'm just looking at the title card for the next one.
Uh-huh.
Wait, does Yusuke actually remember he's a rider this time?
I think so. Oh, and in case you're wondering, he never uses the final form thing for Kuga. He uses one for everybody else except Kuga.
Huh.
Why? I don't know. He'll use one for Agito. He's already used one for Yuki and Fies. And as you saw in the preview, he uses one for Blade. He's used Hibiki. He's used Kabuto. He's now used Deno. And we've seen him use Kiba. So yeah, he uses everybody except Kuga. The only time he uses Kuga is in the Hyper Battle video. When he summons all the final forms to do one big attack alongside the end. And even then, that's supposed to be a joke. Well, it's supposed to be a comedy video. But guess who's standing in the background cheering them on? If your guess is Yusuke, you're correct. Even when his ultimate form gets summoned by Decade, he still does nothing. He literally has to have a spiritual form of himself fight.
Wow.
Ugh.
Well, outside of his own arc and Kiva's arc, he has done absolutely nothing.
Except be a cheerleader.
Yes.
Which is supposed to be Natsumi's job.
Yes.
That's supposed to be Natsumi's thing. Not you, Yusuke! You're supposed to be in the fight! We're ready to start the next episode?
I guess so.
Alright. Starting up episode 25 of Kamen Rider Decade in 3, 2, 1, go. I about forgot what number it was. If you haven't figured out by now, I don't keep track of number of episodes after a certain point.
Yeah, I don't either.
I have to look every time I try to think of how many episodes Wizards had right now. All I know is it's just been going on for a while, and I've been liking it, so I don't keep track of the numbers. Uh, no, they're not. Okay, technically that's the end's fault.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sorry. A few years later, it's going to get writers, whether it likes it or not. And guess what? Then it'll be Decade's fault. How'd that slip past his hand? I don't know. But I'm not going to question it. But well, technically, it hasn't been rejected by any world, really. Unless you count him taking shitty photos. Then I think it's just him.
Yeah.
And also, that's a horrible looking effect. I just sit back and listen to the intro because it's like the one thing I can never be able to complain about.
Yeah, I know. I swear, I think the only complaint we've had out of that was when they switched the part of the song and then pull with any part of the intro.
Yeah,
I mean, I still say if you change part of it, you ought to change all of it,
yeah.
or most of it, or something.
No, he's not. Yeah. Think you can knock the crap out of him. What the hell is she doing at the photo studio?
Seriously.
Not really. Oh my god. If it really is, it's doing a terrible job at that. No. Have you not realized by now that Narutaki just spits? It's just bullshitting you guys.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, seriously, if it's using all its power, it's doing a horrible job at that.
Oh, yeah.
Absolute horrible job at it. Hey, look, all of Tsukasa's terrible looking pictures. That's a miracle how he took those.
Wow.
Ah, isn't that convenient? I'll be back for him later! Besides, I'll have your gun then! What are you gonna do? rest of the team could be written a little better, but at least Takaru's on the right track. What in the hell are you talking about? Tsukasa, now you're making no goddamn sense.
Yes and no. You gotta look, Yusuke's world still exists even though he's not there.
Right. But he left voluntarily.
So he's figured out how to use that thing all the way now?
Yeah.
Oh dear lord. It must not be that complicated then.
No. I think the better question is, how the hell does he have Kaijin cards? Oh, now you decide to do something, Yusuke?
Well, you know, Kaito does just randomly pull the cards out of his ass. So, I mean...
Well, he has a holder for them, if you didn't notice. There's this little pad, like where Tsukasa's card holder thing is, for him. There's a pad there that holds his cards. It's just the number of cards he has don't fit in there. Well, technically, you do something in in a couple episodes, so... Oh, I think they need you.
Yeah, they kind of need him.
Yeah.
I applaud him for saying, you guys might not name me, but I'm helping anyhow.
Yeah. even though they're probably going to need your help.
I think right now they all need someone else's help.
Yeah. So he's given his speech to G. Not good timing, Tsukasa. Just saying. You should have left with Yusuke.
Huh.
I was surprised
3 on
Yusuke...
7, and they're kind of stomping them bad.
Well, the Shinkansers are not used to fighting rider villains. And rider villains are usually give riders tough enough time, and those are one-on-one fights. Seriously?
Wow.
Seriously?
I gotta agree with that statement.
Yeah, that was just ridiculous and completely unnecessary. I love how Tucker is just like, I know this already, right? I love how Tucker is even throwing it back at him with the bullshit speech. Okay.
Wait, what?
He can summon riders. Oh, wow.
Oh, Lord. So he pretty much has every card that Kaito has.
Plus more.
Oh, dear Lord.
Now, Decade, you got a card that could be really useful right now. A Final Form Ride card. Wow, picking up the pace on doing that one, aren't we?
Yeah. He must finally be getting used to it.
Yeah, but he can slide. Tsukasa, you could slide it too, and that'd be faster too. I guess fighting blade with blade. See, you should have used that sooner.
Just completely stole Blade from him right there.
Yeah, and that's what you should have done to start with. Guys was like, I'm just gonna walk in here and be like, up, I got my... Shoot it. You're not getting it.
Yeah, you kind of got seven, well, no, eight
Eight.
people there that are kind of going to kick your ass if you don't do it.
Yeah. And surprisingly enough, for Superhero Taisen, they only did one reference to this crossover. And I think this is the first time Rider and Sentai ever crossed over.
Huh.
As like a full-on team-up. Because Ryder got referenced before, I think in Jack. I think. Yeah, it got referenced in Jack, but there's never been really a team-up. This is the first time it's ever been a full-on team-up. And Superhero Taisen just did a passing reference to it. Which I feel is kind of a disservice to what this did. Well, technically, well, this is his vehicle to travel through worlds to begin with, so yeah.
Talent.
You wish you had talent!
Seriously.
Well, time for the Black RX and the two-parter. But that RX gonna have to wait a while. But with that said, what do you think of this arc?
I've got to agree with you, one of the better ones.
Yeah. I think they emphasized too much about the them protecting Takaru. A little bit too much in the arc, but otherwise it felt fine. Also made him a little bit more gullible. I mean, granted, Blue probably would have fell for that, but Pink, no. Since she was, what, their third best swordsman? And was on third best swordsman and was pretty much Takaru's number 2 for a few episodes. So yeah, that got amped up just a little bit too much, but overall it was a fine arc, probably one of the better ones of the decade. And that just sounds bad.
Yeah, that does sound bad right there.
Yeah.
The only good arc is the one that isn't completely focused around Decade.
Yeah. And it's not crossing over with another rider. It's crossing over with their... Wow. It's crossed over with their programming partner.
And you know, I think the reason why this one is so much better is because it's not one of the alternate takes on something everyone knows about.
Yeah.
It actually is that world. It's not an alternate version of that world.
Yeah. No, it's taking place in the show at the same time. And you have that 2-episode build up to this 2-part arc. That has the little clues that Decade's gonna show up. Because I think a couple of different characters actually show up in those episodes. Because they're supposed to be, like... Actually, no, it's not supposed to be built up. They're supposed to all four be taking place together. Because the way it would air it is, Shinkenger comes first, then Decade. So it probably would have been an episode of Shinkenger to intro in, and then the Decade episode that's taking place at the same time. So technically, this is only half the story. And I do mean half the story. Although I don't think there's anything much in the Shinkenger R2 episode for this. At least not that I remember. I have to rewatch the episodes.
I just find it completely funny that the master thief got something stole from him
Yes.
and then got his ass handed to him by that.
Yeah. And had to trade because he was not quick enough.
Yeah, if he had just went for it instead of deciding that he had to speak up,
Yeah.
yeah, he probably could have got out of there with both his driver and the treasure he was going for.
The squid origami.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was his fail moment right there.
Yep. Yeah.
And you do see who's in the TeamSpeak server at the same moment.
Like right now?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Yes. He just completely missed that whole thing.
He's literally on as we're about to end the show.
Actually, from what I can tell, it looks like he got on right before we started the second half of the show.
Oh. And he did not think to hop in at any point.
Apparently not.
Well.
Yeah.
Hopefully he doesn't mix next week. Because while, yes, the Black RX 2-part arc is coming, I won't be here next week.
Oh, yeah, you won't.
Nope. I will not be around next week. Right, no. No, I think I might be around next week. I'm trying to think. Shit.
It's one of the next few weeks. I remember.
No,
that.
it's not. No, it's not next week.
So we're doing Black RX next.
Yes, we're doing Black RX, because I just realized I will probably be back in time. Because I will be off on a trip to Union University next week with...
That's right. It's after that. Not the week after, but like 2 weeks after that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When I'll be on vacation. And I really won't be able to make that episode. Because I will be off, yeah, like I said, off on vacation. So I'm not going to be able to make it to that week. But next week we'll be able to cover Black RX.
Even though someone just derped right there.
Yes. I got reminded about the trip today. And I still need to find the paperwork so I can make sure what I need to bring. Because I'm not sure if I need to bring my suit or not. Because I'm not sure how formal this thing is. Because you remember the FBLA. You know, we had to dress up for that. I don't know if I need to dress up for this or not. So, that's something I need to know. And I'm assuming the paperwork will tell me alongside anything else. But I have to find it somewhere. Hopefully. So yeah, next week is the Black RX one, which, again, is one of the better ones. But again, it has nothing to do with the original point of Decade. Which has been my one problem since, well, from this arc onward for Decade. That was my one problem, is none of this has to do with what Decade is.
Yeah, I kind of noticed that the whole Decade Complete stuff after that, it seems like nothing's really pertaining to Decade. It's just more like a showcase of, hey, we did this, look.
Yeah. The End I can understand because it's giving spotlight to the End.
Right.
Which he needs.
Just the same as the Decade Complete arc gave background to Natsumi.
Yeah. It's this arc I would be fine with if it wasn't a part of the show. If it was just a special,
Yeah.
like after the ending of Decade. Like if this took place, if All Riders was the ending of Decade, and then they aired this special afterwards, or like at the same time, I'd be okay with it because hey, it's a guy who can cross through worlds. Let's have him cross over with Decade. Duh, or not crossover Decade, crossover with Shinkenger.
Yeah.
No, it's the obvious choice.
But to have this as part of the season, it's like, that's a bit of a stretch.
Yeah. This should be its own little special because it's something pretty big. It's Toei's two big tokusatsu franchises crossing over. And not a boring way. Because this, honestly, this is better than Superhero Taisen. Just saying. Granted, Superhero Taisen is dealing with all of Sentai and all of Rider crossing over, but that still fails to really capture what this does, is two heroes teaming up. Superhero Taisen does not feel like that. But that will do it this week for
Ramp it up, Saloon.
I'm Peacemaker2448 saying good night, everybody, and we will see you on the next round of Gaming Saloon Rift Tracks. Peace out.
As always, you can find the Gaming Saloon Rift Tracks on our site, tgstgsr.dynds.org. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter and Facebook. Our Twitter account is at TGSRiftTracks, and on Facebook you can find us at facebook.com/TGSRiftTracks. Don't forget we're listed on YouTube. You can find us at youtube.com/user/TGSRiftTracks. Till next time.